Hi everybody, I'm Lisanne Miller with W, Cushing and Company, and this is In the Library with me, Lisanne. Happy February. I hope everybody had a great Valentine's Day. And yes, we got some light snow, so everybody should be in their dye pots doing their snow dyeing, I hope. Today, though, we're going to go over something so you can, if you're not going to dye and go out in the snow and play, why don't you pick up a good book, sit inside, have a nice cup of tea, maybe some hot chocolate if you'd like. And we're going to go over a few books today so we can get you prepared for the upcoming season. Today's books are produced by Kathy Wright of Rug Hooking Traditions. And she's got a few more books than this, but these are the two that I would like to go over today. The first is Magdalena Briner Eby. Now, and this was in conjunction with Evelyn Lawrence. Magdalena, everybody knows Magdalena. Everybody just knows her by Magdalena. She's a one-name person. And Magdalena first appeared in the Kopp book, the Joel Kopp book, which we went over. Magdalena's style is very distinct, very primitive. A lot of you have hooked in her style or hooked rugs, patterns that were produced with this. I like Magdalena because you can be yourself in it, just as she was. But this book is really a very interesting book because it gives you the backstory. It gives you the backstory of Magdalena. It gives you the story of her life, how she created. It also reminds you that you should use what's around you. And you should use things like cans, pots, pans. And this really, the family history is in here. She's from Perry County. Her life was not easy. Places that she's lived. And I think when you understand this history, and I find it's very, very important to go through the history. And she was a young widow. She was a very young widow, and that forced her to become creative, inventive, like so many others. And a lot of times we forget to hook what we see. We don't have to make it exact. As I said to somebody in my class yesterday, I like to give the impression of, okay? And the impression of is what Magdalena did. She did it in a style that was unique to her and identifiable across generations. It tells you about materials, design, and color. And it's good reading. The dye theory, this is the theory on how they dyed. Of course, they did not use Cushing dyes, but they did use natural. How they came to market, which is a very interesting story. You must read how they came to market. And then, of course, the beautiful rugs. And we all know these images. I love it. This is what I call a complete pull and hook. She used her images from her life in Perry County and where she lived, and they are just wonderful. The domestic zoo is just great. And there may be more Magdalenas out there, but this is what what they have found. And you just makes you smile. It makes you say, don't take this so seriously, enjoy yourself. The lollipop tree, the old ducks, the dogs, the farm, the roosters, the cats, the animals. You know, it keeps going on. And what's great about this happens to be one of my favorite rugs of all time. But it gives you the provenance, 2 crows and 2 horses. And I just love it. I love the colors, the blues, the browns, the reds. And underneath each one, and if you've hooked this pattern and don't have this book, you need to get it so you know the provenance of the pattern that you hooked. The eagle. Quilts. And there is a rug trail in Perry County, and the rug trail does take, and here is an installation on the barn, where Magdalena is from. and if you want to visit Perry County and things to do and see, if you want to walk where she did. And then this is about the authors. Evelyn dedicated most of her rug hooking life to researching, finding, and hooking Magdalenas. And it was her mission. And these are hooked by Evelyn. And then Kathy, also her bio. This is also called the Snyder rug because of the way that it appeared in an auction. And again, love them all. Love the colors. They're just wonderful. And these were all hooked by Evelyn. Ooh. Great rooster. And this is about Kathy. And if you hook in this style or want to hook in this style, this is a very, very good book to add to your library. If you've hooked the rugs, it's excellent to read. Just wonderful. Just a wonderful. And these style rugs will teach you to pull and hook. The second book are the Hutchinsons, the James and Mercedes Hutchinsons. The Hutchinsons are known, they also came to life with the Joel Kopp book, and they have sayings, most of them. They're funny sayings. But what's not known about the Hutchinsons is their back history, how they came to be, and this was written by Kathy Wright and Janet Connor. And this book is very, very detailed. This is in lieu of auction catalogs. A lot of research went into this. This gives you everything you need to know about Hutchinson rugs in one book. And I love this book because it gives you the backstory of the people that collected the rugs, commissioned the rugs, sold the rugs. They did not hook the rugs. That's a misnomer. The Hutchinsons, to our knowledge, did not hook the rugs. But they would sail up and down the Canadian and East Coast, go to auctions, buy rugs, sell rugs. And they had a very good eye for rugs. Then they started commissioning rugs. And these are all original pieces, original about the history of the two. Very interesting to read. Okay, very, very interesting to read. Their back history, their family history. Not much is known about them in their early years, but all of a sudden they came into prominence. They sold through a dealer. The Hutchinson story, hooked rugs. In the New York Times, had a studio in New York City. Mercedes, there's not a lot on her early life. It would be very interesting to know. There was references on one page of the Hooked Rug book by William Winthrop Kent to the Hutchinsons. And it appears in the Kopp book. Here is the history of the rugs. Now, they collected over 1,300 rugs, and I don't think that people understand that. They think there's 300, 400, 500. They commissioned 870. Think about that. Collected 1,320, commissioned 870. Kathy and Janet debunked the myths of it, the materials and designs, and here's the great part. Because it seems to be family relationships, holidays, and odd family members seems to be the categories. Here's the listing of the rugs that they know of in a category, family relationships. Here's the provenance when they can find it on the rug. And this entire book goes into that. And there's one, look at all of these on marriage, says a lot. Special celebrations and activities, drinking, travel and outings, lists upon lists, pictures where there are pictures, provenance where there is provenance. These are some of the collected rugs that they had. Commissioned rugs, collected rugs. This is the commissioned rug list, what they know, the provenance, what they know about the notes, the pattern, etc. And they're just wild. They're fun. You can make up your own sayings for this century. They're good inspiration. And it's page after page that you have to, one book to find out all the information that you need on these rugs is absolutely outstanding. And again, also inspiring, like Magdalena, also inspiring. Because they may inspire you to create your own Hutchinson style rug. They do Valentine's Day, they do weddings, they do all sorts of things. And the sayings are very funny. They even talk about firemen. So it's page, and it's a very intense book. It's a very good book. And you'll mark the book on different sections if you want to design one or look at one. You know, that's the best way to go back to it. But it's also good knowledge. It's knowledge about the history of rug hooking. It's knowledge about this genre of rug. So it's a great book to add to your library. It's a book you'll use again and again. You'll go back to. You may see a Hutchinson in a book. You may see a Hutchinson in a magazine. You may see a Hutchinson at Souter. Different things like that. And you'll know the history of it. Or you may design one based on the history. So this is the James and Mercedes Hutchinson book. Excellent job, excellent read. If you would like to order these two books, they're available through Rug Hooking Traditions. There's a Facebook page called Rug Hooking Traditions. There's a blog spot. There's a website. So you can order through that. You can Google Kathy Wright, W-R-I-G-H-T, on Facebook. She has links to all of this. And you can order directly from her. There's more books than this in her collection, but these two are the ones that we're reviewing today. They're great books. I also want to touch briefly on one of my favorite subjects because Easter is early this year. Everyone, Easter is early. This is the classic tale of Peter Rabbit. It's by, the illustrations, of course, it's Beatrix Potter, but the illustrations is where I want to pull it up. It's by Charles Santori. And if you remember Charles, I do like him a lot. I love his illustrations. He illustrated one of the Nights Before Christmas that was in monochromatic. So he goes from monochromatic to color. This is a great book. Most of these that we have are used, but look at this. Look at the color. These are great. This is a great book. It's a whimsical book. It's a great book for spring. It makes you look for spring. If you've got to do gardening, trees, landscapes. Charles has done another excellent, excellent job of illustrating. They're a lot of fun to do. It is the other classic stories too. So you get everything in one. There's Peter in his blue coat. There's Farmer McGregor. Great look at the face, the hat. So Charles has once again delivered on his illustrations. It's a wonderful book to keep out and look, especially if you're going to hook a rabbit. You know, whether it be our Peter Rabbit Small or our Peter Rabbit Shutter Sitter. There's Mr. Jeremiah Fisher, the frog, all sorts. All the stories are in here. They just keep going. Two Bad Mice. That's the story of Max and Ollie's life. Never can get them. But as you can see, again, Charles has delivered in color this time. And wonderful inspiration, illustrations, and a book for this time of year. We all need a little bit of spring. Even the Flopsy bunnies are in here, as you can see. Look at that. Also, if you need help hooking a bunny and they're coloring, their eyes in particular, how their eyes look, where their eyelashes are, all just wonderful. So again, this is Peter Rabbit, The Classic Tale of Peter Rabbit and Other Cherished Stories. This is on our website. It is illustrated by Charles Santori. So one to have for your spring collection, even if you have to hook vegetables or fruit. Now, beautiful wool in the dye kitchen with me. Make sure if you follow the third Thursdays, next third Thursday for March, we're going to turn ugly wool pretty, and I mean some pretty ugly wool. If you don't have the book, you may want to get the book. It is on our website, wcushing.com, because it has what the base color will be, what it will turn into, different things like that. So please, make sure you have it in your collection. And we will see you in March, and let's hope it comes in like a lamb and goes out like a lamb. Bye for now.